is up, OWO Maniacs, and welcome back to OWO UK and my review of Halloween H2O 20 years later. As I said, this is where things get a little bit confusing, but I will get into that. So H2O 20 years later is set in 1998. It's the 7th installment in the Halloween film series, and it's a direct sequel to the original Halloween and Halloween 2. So the events of 4, 5 and 6 are just effectively just ignored. They didn't happen. We haven't seen those films. 3 obviously, like I said, is a standalone film. So yeah, between the 4th and 6th films, they didn't exist. They didn't happen. None of that happened. You were just to ignore that, which is why obviously, like I said, things get a bit confusing. So Jamie Lee Curtis is back and she plays Laurie Strode again, and there are some other people in there who were pretty, LL Cool J's in it. He has I don't want to say bit part, but he's not a main character. He gets a few scenes, and Josh Hartnett's in it, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who became, well, at the end of the Batman film, wasn't he? So you don't know if he's going to become Robin or Nightwing or what, but yeah, he's in it. And there's a couple of other people whose names escape me. So yeah, the film was released on the 5th of August 1998, not anywhere near Halloween, which I would have thought they would have released it on Halloween. So yeah, obviously it'd been August. It was 2.5 months before the 20th anniversary of John Carpenter's original Halloween, which came out in '78. So I don't know whether they left it to, maybe re-air the original Halloween at cinemas or what, but, they released it in August. So this is set, like I said, 20 years after the events of the first 2 movies, and it sort of centres on a post-traumatic Laurie Strode who's faked her own death so that she could go into hiding from her brother Michael. She's now working as a headmistress of a private school under the name Kerry Tate. She continues to just absolutely live in complete fear of her brother Michael, which is understandable, and him coming back. Her own son John attends a school where she teaches, and Laurie's fear becomes reality when Michael shows up at the school and begins killing John's friends, and eventually Laurie's got to go face to face with evil one last time, while the life of her son hangs in the balance. It all builds up quite nicely. This film is also dedicated to the memory of Donald Pleasence, who played Samuel Loomis in the franchise. Like I said, Pleasence, did I say Loomis? Loomis, obviously. Pleasence died in 1995, which is a great shame, as he was just amazing in the Halloween films. So there was a sequel to this, Halloween Resurrection, which was released in 2002 with Jamie Lee Curtis coming back again as Laurie Strode. I'll go into that one when I've watched it to review it. For this film, they had a budget of 17 million, which is, a lot of money, but I suppose as the years go on, 17 millions, I suppose it's quite a lot to make a film. And at the box office, it took 55 million, so, 17, 34, nearly 3 times what it cost to make. So, the plot. October 29th, 1998, Dr. Sam Loomis's former colleague, Marion, returns back to her house in Langdon, Illinois, to find that her house has been burgled. So she goes round and knocks on the door of her neighbours, and her teenage neighbour Jimmy, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and his friend Tony call the police, and then they decide to go around and have a look. Joseph Gordon-Levitt goes in, has a look around, doesn't see anything, has a bit of a scare in the kitchen, and just ends up whacking loads of stuff with his hockey stick. Opens a fridge, finds some beers, takes 2, grabs a cookie off the table, goes back out and tells her, they've made a mess of your study, which they had, and they've also made a bit of a mess in your kitchen, which is obviously what he'd done. By which point the police still haven't turned up. So Marion goes into the house, goes into her sort of study area, and discovers that the file she has on Laurie Strode, Michael's sister, is missing. She immediately goes back over to Jimmy's house, where she finds him and Tony dead. Jimmy's death is just wow. You basically just see him sat in a chair with an ice hockey skate just bang, dead centre of its face. Michael appears out of nowhere and attacks Marianne and slits her throat and kills her. The police arrive, obviously, just as Michael leaves the house with Laurie's file, so it's taken them a good 40 minutes or something to get to the actual call. And I think Marion actually says something about, makes a comment about the police before she goes back into the house herself. So, having survived the explosion at Haddonfield Memorial Hospital in 1978, Loomis was under Marion's care at this house before dying, presumably from natural causes. However, even after nearly 20 years, Loomis refused to believe that Michael was dead and devoted the rest of his life studying all information about his former patient. So, the two investigators then enter his private study, completely untouched by Michael's burglary, and find that the walls are covered with photographs, sketches, and newspaper articles about Michael, from the murder of his sister Judith to the stealing of a tombstone to the murders in 78, as well as articles on Laurie Strode, including a supposed death in an automobile accident. Like I said, she had a death faked to put her into sort of like a witness protection type thing. So, meanwhile, in California, Laurie is living a reasonably perfect life with her teen son John and his girlfriend Molly. And like I said, has a career as a headmistress of Hillcrest Academy, which is a private boarding school that her son John goes to. However, Laurie is obviously still plagued by what happened in 1978, and the events still sort of bug her and get to her, and she has visions of Michael a lot. And it's, like I say, living in fear that he's going to come back. She's tried to get a life back together, and hopes that Michael will never come after her again. And like I said, faked to death in a car accident, then relocated to California under an assumed name of Kerry Tate. So they sort of cuts you to this woman and her daughter in a car, and the little girl needs a toilet. So they pull over at a rest stop, and you already see Michael go into the toilet. The women's is locked, so the woman says to the little girl, "We'll go to that one." And she's like, "You can't go in there, it's the men's." And she opens the door, shouts hello, nothing. She's right, "Nobody's in, come on, let's go." And you think the worst. You think, right, Michael's going to just take you out. No, he doesn't. The little girl uses the toilet, her mum stood with her, and Michael goes and steals the woman's car. So at the academy, the students are going for a overnight field trip to the Yosemite National Park, where Laurie told her son originally he couldn't go, but she changes her mind and says, "You know what, you can go." But he's already made plans with his girlfriend and his friend and his girlfriend that they're going to have this Halloween party in the basement with their friends, Charlie and his girlfriend, who is Sarah. So even though she gives him the permission slip, he doesn't go on the trip, but she doesn't actually get to see him off. Obviously, with it being Halloween, Laurie is very jumpy, and there is a scene where the old woman who works at the school makes a jump, and Laurie turns around and the old woman says, "Oh, it is Halloween." What is it now? It is Halloween. I suppose everybody's entitled to one good scare, or one good scare. And I'm pretty sure I heard that line in one of the earlier films, but I can't remember if I did or if I've imagined it. But yeah, so obviously Laurie's very jumpy. So while the party's going on in the basement, Charlie goes off into the kitchen and gets killed by Michael. Sarah goes looking for him, finds Charlie's body, obviously bumps into Michael, and she tries to escape via the thing that goes up and down between levels where they serve food. Is it a dumb way to call them? Tries to escape through there, but Michael sort of slices a leg and then ends up stabbing her to death. John and Molly go looking for him because obviously they've been a while, and they get chased by Michael through the school grounds. John gets stabbed, I think it's in his leg as he's climbing over the fence or something, by Michael. So he's obviously limping and carrying an injury. They go to this door, they slam the metal gate shut, but then Molly drops the keys to it. So they're brain on the door. Laurie comes, opens, lets him in, comes face to face with Michael for the first time in for the first time in 2 decades, in 20 years. So she saves John and Molly and manages to get him to safety. During this time, Michael gained entrance to the school, I forgot to mention this bit, by pulling up in the stolen car, and then LL Cool J, the security guard, goes out to investigate and opens the gate to go to the car, and it's obviously when Michael makes his entrance. You don't actually see him walking, I don't think. Can't remember, I don't think you do. So all you see is LL Cool J go look at the car, nobody's there. So he just goes back in and closes the gate behind him, by which point, obviously, Michael's got in. Laurie does have a boyfriend. I can't remember his name. It's another one of the teachers who stays behind. And if anybody watched, I believe it's 8 Simple Rules, with the one that had the girl who plays Penny in Big Bang Theory. Before she was in that, she was in this. She played the older sister, Bridget. The guy who plays their headmaster, who ended up dating their mum after their dad died, it's him that plays Laurie's sort of boyfriend. And I forgot to mention by this point as well that Laurie is also a functioning alcoholic. There's a scene where Laurie and her boyfriend are, going for a meal during the dinner break at school, and he goes, I think it's to the toilet or something, and she has a glass of wine, and as soon as he's gone, she downs it, asks the waiter to bring her another one quickly, and he brings her another one, and she sort of drinks that down to where the level of hers was, so he doesn't suspect that she's an alkid. John obviously knows his mum is a functioning alcoholic, and he bumps into her in town with his friends as they've gone to buy they get some beer for the party that night, bump into Laurie, and she ends up taking her back to school, and has a go at LL Cool J for letting him out after they promise LL Cool J don't get caught. So that brings us back up to work. So Laurie's got John and Molly to safety, and decides to go off, tells Molly to drive off in her Jeep, and she's going to face Michael on the road. So by which point her boyfriend has he thinks he shoots Michael, and he ends up shooting him. I think Ella is dead, and Michael comes up and gets the boyfriend. Ella clearly isn't dead, and I think he escapes. He turns up at the end or something, but anyway, Laurie goes off to finish Michael off once and for all. She succeeds in stopping him. That's when everything comes out of the way, and everything's all good. By the time John and Molly have come back in the vehicle, but Laurie's not 100% convinced that Michael is dead, and she won't have it until she's actually killed him. So she steals the map that his body is being put in. She's driving down the road and she keeps looking in the mirror. She sees the body right, and it opens. Sure enough, Michael gets up. She slams on the brakes and flies through the window. As he's getting up, she drives him out and pushes him up against the tree. Gets out and looks at Michael's hand and his hand out to her. She looks at him, she briefly touches his hand and then locks his head on the face. And it's like, right, that's it, he's dead. It's like she's finally killed him. As far as you consider that, obviously, but yeah, as far as that goes, it's like bang, heads off, you see the head roll with the mask, and you think, right, boom, Michael is dead. But I remember seeing this film when it came out originally, and it might have been on either VHS or it might have been one of the very first DVDs I watched, or one of the first few DVDs I watched, and it was the first Halloween film I'd seen, but I knew the backstory, so I didn't struggle with the plot, which you don't. Again, it's introducing Josh Hartnett. He gets an introducing credit. And when you think about it, a lot of people make their debut in horror films. Obviously, Jamie Lee Curtis made her debut in this. Josh Hartnett did. Paul Rudd did. And then you've got Johnny Depp in Nightmare on Elm Street. Who else? Just about to be some others, but that's like four that I can think of off the top of my head. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed this film. Few hardcore enthusiasts probably won't enjoy it, but I really did enjoy it, and I thought it was really good. Given the location, the way Michael takes some of the people out is very imaginative. Like I said, the ice skate is the one that stands out to me. This movie is better than 5 and 6, which, like I said, may annoy a few hardcore fans or whatever, but I really got into this movie. I just thought it was really good, and it was sort of like took me back to the first time I saw it, and I had absolutely no issues rewatching this at all to do this review. So yeah, that is Halloween H2O, and as far as we're concerned at this point, that is it. Michael is dead. However, I shall return in my next video, which is for Halloween Resurrection. I'll be doing a review on that once I have watched it again. So until then, as always, please leave a like. If you have any comments, leave them down below. If you haven't already, subscribe, hit the bell for the notifications to let you know when the next video is going to be up. I hope you're enjoying these series of videos. I'm enjoying making them, and I'm really enjoying watching the films. Like I said, 5 was but I'm enjoying watching these films, and I'm enjoying doing the videos. So yeah, that'll do it for this one, guys. I will see you again for Halloween Resurrection. As always, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.